This is why you need to know about Pablo Escobar's surprising acts of kindness. Born in 1949 in Rio Negro, Colombia, Escobar grew up in a modest household. His early life was marked by a keen sense of ambition and a desire to rise above his circumstances. By the time he was in his 20s, he had already begun his journey into the world of crime, starting with petty theft and moving on to more serious offenses. But it wasn't just his criminal activities that made him a household name. It was also his unexpected acts of generosity. Ready to have your mind blown? Escobar's duality is what makes his story so compelling. On one hand, he was responsible for countless deaths and the spread of a global drug epidemic. On the other hand, he was seen as a savior by many in his hometown of Medellin. This paradox is at the heart of why his legacy is so complex and why it's essential to understand both sides of his story. Alright, we all know Pablo Escobar as the infamous drug lord who ruled the Medellin cartel. His empire was built on the back of the cocaine trade, which at its peak, supplied 80% of the world's cocaine. The Medellin cartel was a well-oiled machine with operations spanning multiple countries and generating billions of dollars in revenue. Escobar's influence was so vast that he was once listed as one of the richest men in the world by Forbes magazine, who ruled the Medellin cartel. But what many people don't realize is that his power extended far beyond the drug trade. Escobar had a significant impact on the social and political landscape of Colombia. He used his immense wealth to gain influence and control, often blurring the lines between criminal and political activities. His reach was so extensive that he even attempted to enter politics, running for a seat in the Colombian Congress in the early 1980s. But beyond the crime and chaos, there's a lesser-known side to him. Escobar was a master of public relations, understanding that his survival depended not just on fear, but also on loyalty. He invested heavily in the communities that were most affected by his criminal activities. This wasn't just a tactic to gain favor, it was a calculated move to build a support network that would protect him from law enforcement and rival cartels. Pablo Escobar didn't just build a cocaine empire, he also built homes, schools, and hospitals for the poor in Colombia. Escobar's charity was strategic, earning him loyalty and protection from the local communities. He understood that by improving the lives of the poor, he could create a buffer zone of support that would make it difficult for authorities to capture him. This strategy was so effective that many locals saw him as a hero, a Robin Hood figure who took from the rich and gave to the poor. He also built homes, schools, and hospitals for the poor in Colombia. Escobar's charity was strategic, earning him loyalty and protection from the local communities. One of his most famous projects was the construction of the neighborhood known as Barrio Pablo Escobar. This area provided housing for thousands of people who were living in extreme poverty.